New York City is the definition of the nanny state, and nothing makes that clearer than a new proposal by the City Council in New York City that would increase the age of when someone can buy cigarettes. Okay, so right now you have to be 18 to buy cigarettes. They want to increase the age to 21.
Yeah. Now, look, I got a lot of mixed feelings about Mike Bloomberg. We talk about it all the time. Mayor of New York City. I agree with him on guns, totally disagree with him on civil liberties and Wall Street, etc. And I disagree with him on the nanny state. How many ounces can you drink? Look, I think this drinking 16 ounces, 32 ounces is crazy. There's no need to drink that much soda. But it's a free country. Like, literally, that's what we say all the time. It's a free country. You should be allowed to drink whatever you want, right? So you know that I disagree with that. This one, I don't find nearly as offensive.
What?
Because it's cigarettes. Like, we do want to discourage it, and we don't even let you drink beer, which is not nearly as harmful as cigarettes.
You know what this proposal makes me want to do? Smoke a cigarette. Because it's basically the government telling you, like, telling you what to do, and it makes you want to rebel against the government because it's so ridiculous. If you are 18 years old, you are a freaking adult. You should be allowed to drink. You should be able to smoke cigarettes. You should be able to do whatever you want, especially if you're, if you're able to serve in the military. So by the way, this is such a non-problem in New York City right now because the number of people smoking cigarettes has decreased significantly. In fact, let me give you some numbers. In 2002, 21.5% of adults were smoking in New York. That number has decreased to 14.8% in 2011.
But you know why it decreased? Because New York City got really tough on smokers. And I remember when they first said you can't smoke in restaurants, I was wrong. I said that that's wrong and it infringes on your freedom too much. Well, it turns out, you know what? They were right about secondhand smoke.
No.
And it wound up reducing the number of people who smoked, so it turned out to be a good rule.
Cenk, you need regulations in place to make sure that your bad habit doesn't destroy the health of other individuals, which is why those laws were put into place. Yes, it makes it harder for people to smoke, which obviously decreases the amount of people who do smoke, but that wasn't, I'm sure it was part of the intention, but the real intention was, let's not make it a public nuisance. Like, I don't want to smoke, and I don't want to inhale your secondhand smoke. So that kind of legislation made sense.
Look, if you said to me, if you're under you're between 18 and 21, and you can drink beer, and you can smoke cigarettes, I'm fine with it, right? But if you say you can't drink a beer, but you can smoke a cigarette, well, that's crazy.
No,
I mean, the cigarette is much more harmful.
Lower the age when it comes to alcohol.
But they're not going to.
Well, but it doesn't make the situation better if you have two negatives.
We have too much of an argument on this. Drop it. All right, bring in the other justices. Court's in session. Justice Godoy, raise age to 21 or no on tobacco? Go.
Lower the age of drinking to 21 and legalize all drugs. So it'd be hard for me to say to ban smoking. Yeah.
No, I hear you. So you want to lower the age to 18 for everybody.
Yeah.
But look, if that was the case, then I'd agree with you guys on cigarettes. But it's not the case. They're not gonna do that. The drugs are illegal. You can't have a beer till you're 21. So why can you smoke a cigarette, but you can't have a beer?
Okay, excuse me for saying this, but that's such a lame argument. So it's like, okay, so we have one right and one wrong. Okay, so why don't we have two wrongs instead?
Well, I'm not sure the other ones are wrong.
Right.
Look, there's a lot of things that we start at 21. You can't even get a rental car until you're 25, right? So you're not responsible enough for a rental car, or you're responsible enough to make a decision on putting cancer in your body? Look, I want to discourage smoking as much as humanly possible.
But this isn't going to discourage smoking. Like, I think it's ridiculous to think, like, look, if people do underage drinking all the time, right? So increasing the age to 21 isn't going to change anything. If 18-year-olds want to smoke cigarettes, they'll get their hands on the cigarettes.
Justice Jackson, you can put me away here if you vote with them. Or you could tie it up and create more drums. Go.
I like how you set that up. Well, you didn't have to too much. I mean, I think we all agree everything should be lowered. But I guess I'm specifically more against cigarette smoke because it directly does, as we mentioned, affects other people. So, I mean, if you are making some people wait till 21, it is getting less people smoking. Of course, every 18-year-old is not going to follow it. But I'm worried about the secondhand smoke. If you really want to kill yourself, I don't give a shit that you smoke.
I totally agree.
You know, it's just this one so directly affects other people with secondhand smoke.
So you're saying cut the secondhand smoke by any means necessary. So if that means I got to raise the age to 21, I'm raising it to 21.
Yeah, and if say only 30% of 18-year-olds follow the rule. That's 30% less people smoking at 18 to 21.
I know, but there are already laws in place that prevent the secondhand smoke. You can't smoke inside an establishment, for instance. You can't smoke too close to an establishment's door. So those laws are already in place to protect people from secondhand
that's an
smoke.
interesting point. The only problem is the vote was 2-2.
No,
and we're deadlocked. You know
We're
what that
not
means?
done
The
yet.
current rule in New York stands.
That's ridiculous. I can't believe we're in favor of this. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Okay, well, welcome to Crazy Land. You just lost.
So at 18, you're old enough to join the military and put your life at risk, but you're not old enough to decide whether or not you can smoke a cigarette? That's crazy.
No, understand the caveat is we all agree that the age of both drinking and smoking should be down to 18. Do you see what I'm saying? But we're not in that world. All right, anyway, you had one last point or no?
My point is your argument sucks.
Okay, well, touche.